It's the weekend, it's Mailbag. It's the first time we're actually doing this on YouTube. I tried to do it live, but I couldn't because YouTube won't let us stream things live on mobiles because I don't know what it thinks we're up to. But I am joined this week by Owen Parkes, Paul Dargan and Thomas Dargan, and my dad is sat just over there in the corner as well. We're at City Wine Bar on Old Hall Street today, and this is brought to you in association with Camden Beer
and Andy Murray.
Camden Town Pale Ale, not Camden Beer.
Fair enough. If you're new to the YouTube channel, please do subscribe. We put a few bits and pieces up every week. It's pretty decent. Paul, just before we launch into this podcast, just tell us a little bit about your Mersey Talk podcast.
Now he's saying this because I went on a bit too long in the preamble. So basically, yeah, it's called Mersey Talk Podcast, and it's just sit down interviews with people who are either famous from the area or bring a lot to Merseyside, in sort of different any way, shape or form.
Yeah.
You can listen to it on Spotify, Google Podcast, Podcast Addict, and Audio Boom as well.
Okay, you've had on so far?
So upcoming. Actually got Owen's senior lecturer, Tim Abraham, who was on Sky Sports IRN, and he's got 30 years of broadcast experience. He's now John Moore's senior lecturer. We've had Tony Dodson on, local Liverpool boxer, Mike Abraham, who's a film director, Rossi from Radio City, where we would obviously usually record as well. We've got Bradley Orr coming up as well, and they've got absolutely loads and famous names and some not so famous, but all great stories.
Brilliant. Keep an eye out for that. And do you do most of the talking or not?
Absolutely not, thank God.
Right, just before I kick off this week's questions, I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to read you a quote from an ex-Everton player, and just have a think about it and tell me if an inspiration comes and you know what it is at any point, just throw a guess in. So the quote is, "Football was never the same for me after I left Everton, and although I always wanted to win, losing never really seemed to hurt anymore."
Not my Big Sam Magnifico.
No, not your Big Sam Magnifico.
And just an indication.
Which is the best quote ever, by the way.
He could have said that.
I probably did. He invented Magnifico.
Oh, of course he did.
We probably thought that losing didn't hurt anymore either. He won that much, didn't he?
Just being at the game hurt more than anything, didn't it, when he was there?
All those lovely games with no shots and targets was glorious.
It was great, wasn't it?
Oh, brilliant, I enjoyed every minute.
I think Arsenal away being the high point.
No, he didn't. Was that when he played the back three of Mangala?
Mangala came off injured and never played again.
Mark Martina left wing back.
Yeah, proper Everton.
It also, that's why I hate Saturday 5:30 kickoffs as well, because of that game, I think.
Yeah.
You hate every time of a kick-off though, don't you?
We got blitzed a few times around 500 him. City we were 3-0 down in 15 minutes.
It was terrible, that, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh God.
Anyway.
Right, that's all in the past. Now looking to the future, Carlo Ancelotti doing a bang average job at Everton.
Yeah.
While Mikel Arteta is doing an absolutely splendid job at Arsenal, also the press would have you believe. But Michael Blakey's asked, where would we be if Moyes got the job? And he follows it up by saying, I think we may have had less points than when Marco Silva was.
He did, because I think he followed that up after I'd said we'd be third
from
and then
bottom.
Space from bottom. So yeah. Oh, I was actually going to say third in the championship, but that's not possible. Although his is impossible as well. We couldn't have more at less points than we had unless we had Abu Dhabi running us.
I think we'd be in that pack with Brighton, Bournemouth, West Ham, Watford. I think we'd just be in that pack.
No, we'd be lower than that. We'd be.
Yeah, but they're in that pack.
We'd be in Norwich territory right now.
We certainly wouldn't be looking at Chelsea, would we, thinking, yeah, we can have that?
No.
We are looking at Chelsea thinking we can have. It's not just me, is it?
If someone said to you at the start of the season, man, we'd have a chance of finishing in the Champions League. We had Champions League football next year, and we had one of the best managers in the world at our disposal. You'd be laughing.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You'd be laughing your head off.
Still don't know what's happened, to be honest. Do you still have those moments where you look and you think, Carlo Ancelotti's our manager, how on earth is that happen?
Yeah, we say this every week.
Yeah, I certainly do say it every week, honestly.
Do you know at the start of the season, I don't know if any of you've seen it, but BT Sport brought out his Premier League script for the season.
Yeah,
so what they did, they scripted the season, every result and everything.
Oh, did
Jake Humphries put it on him.
Even that's more realistic than the absolute mad storm or everything.
Well, to be fair, I remember Jake Humphries going on Instagram and like flicking through it, and he's going, Norwich will do you know, all this, and then they'll be bottom.
No, they had Sheffield United bottom, that's how much.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
But I know that he was talking about Norwich will start off quite well, and they'll, because it actually listed every single game,
Yeah.
but he was just flicking through. It was like this.
They had us to win home and away in the derby.
I mean, really?
Yeah.
Christ. I mean, it's dangerous for BT Sport to do that, isn't it? Script the season.
It's quite
Because
fun when
it's
you're
already
looking at the
scripted
start of
anyway.
the season,
Yeah.
like, but when you look at it, it's just nonsense. The bottom three they had was Sheffield United, Norwich and Newcastle,
Right.
and only one of them I think is going to go down.
I mean, Norwich and Newcastle would have been nice in the bottom three, wouldn't it? This point?
yeah, but
With
Newcastle
Villa.
are XG's dream, aren't they?
I was just going to say that I said it's like that, and then Tom said it's massive, and I'm like, this is the day after Valentine's Day, and you wonder why both me and him are single. Because he thinks that is massive. Although he's 15, so you know.
If you want to know what Paul was talking about there, you'll have to watch the YouTube video.
Yeah.
That's the way it goes. So basically, we'd be in the shit, wouldn't we?
This is the incentive to get the YouTube vision, but not my face. What we can do is we can pixelate my face so people don't vomit or
Just pick like
turn
the
to
entire
stone.
body, yeah.
Just don't look into my eyes.
Then you have me hanging out the end somewhere, probably on the camera.
What?
Oh! This is the blue room after dark line.
This is certainly blue in every way.
Blue Toffee has asked,
David
and I love
Moyes
this.
memoir.
This is a belter of a question. This one: if you could reverse one refereeing decision from any Everton game, which decision would you reverse? Owen.
But you know, you've got the obvious ones like the Kalina and the what's that referee's name years ago?
Clark Thomas.
Yeah.
It's 77 replay.
Yeah.
Oh, it wasn't even a replay, it was the first match, wasn't it?
Yeah,
I would
Ryan.
say them, right, but none of them actually affected me because I didn't watch either game. So I'm going to choose something a bit more.
Were you even alive when we played Villarreal?
Yeah, 2005. Yeah.
He was alive, so he.
Whoa.
You were?
How
were like
old
a-
was I?
And he
11
just-
months old?
This is August.
No,
this
you
was
were
still-
one.
This was August, wasn't it?
Yeah.
2005, yeah.
Yeah.
But either way, that didn't affect me.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go for something more recent. Like, do you remember?
Don't pick the one I'm thinking of.
No, but you probably won't even know what this one is because 11-year-old me was absolutely livid
no.
over this.
Oh, I need to guess.
We
this
played
then.
Aston Villa at Rome about 2011,
Yeah.
right? And it was 2-2 in the last minute. And then Jermaine Beckford comes across, hits it. It bounces off the bar and it was about 15 yards over the bar. The referee didn't give it.
Over the line, you mean?
Yeah, it went over the,
Yeah.
over the bar.
So was it like
It was the
Roel?
bar.
It must have hit me in the face.
It hit the bar and then it was literally at the bottom of the goal and the referee didn't give it. And I remember it was cursing that for weeks. Lee Mason it was. It was Lee Mason was standing
Not
and he
my
was,
mate, Lee Mason.
and he was looking down the line and he didn't give it and I was livid. And there was a few this season, like a few penalty shouts I was thinking of as well.
Brighton?
That's,
But
the,
you-
that's
right.
the one I thought you were going to
But
say.
the 11-year-old me was livid. Can you imagine me
It's like
fuming the
11-year-old,
11-year-old?
The 11-year-old you was fuming at the Brighton decision as well. Did you keep
Yeah.
him in a cupboard?
I go in every night.
Taking a dark twist, this, hasn't it?
Screwed over today, mate. There's been absolutely loads. There's been, do you know, I also choose the derby when who was it, Calvert-Lewin was hacked down in the box.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that
Was it 2-1 at that point?
Yeah,
I think it
yeah,
was, wasn't it?
2-1. If we'd have scored
I mean,
it,
yeah.
and then Keane scored before half time.
Yeah.
We'd have won at Anfield and Marco Silva would still be Everton manager.
Sliding doors.
Oh, Van Dijk, you talking
Yeah.
about this season?
When he rugby tackled him.
I mean, that was a
No,
penalty.
we're
and a
doing
red card.
5-4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have scored any more than 4 goals.
No. Well, it would have been typical Everton to score 4
Four-
goals
at Anfield and
concede
still
5,
lose,
yeah. What are you going to say, mate?
I don't know, but I mean, thinking of... there's been so many. That Kalina one, I wasn't as annoyed at the time, I don't think, as I was when I watched it the other day.
Oh, well,
Absolutely
because it was his
ridiculous.
birthday, wasn't it?
When
Yeah.
we were actually talking about this on the phone, was it yesterday we were talking about it?
I think it's just because it's been put up.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
it was his 60th birthday yesterday or something, wasn't it? So loads of people were showing the video again. But
What about Lawrenson? Handball?
well,
It's Milk Cup final.
I was going to lead on to this, right?
I don't remember it because
Does
that's my
anyone know
first
what?
Everton was
Does anyone know
88.
what the referee was called in that game?
Come
Was
on,
it
I don't
Gerald
even
Ashby,
know
was
the
it?
game.
No, it was Alan Robinson. Now he's not a name that ever crops up anywhere.
Is that double L? Alan? A-N?
You'd think so, but no, it's just the one. Just the bog standard Alan Robinson, as you'd expect to spell it. But yeah, I mean, he's a name who should probably go down in Everton history just for that that decision. If you've not seen it, So basically, was it Alan Hansen or was it
It
Mark
was
Hansen?
Lawrenson, I'm sure
It
it
was
was.
Lawrenson or Hansen?
Was it Hansen? Oh, Lawrenson was it? No, I know it. No, do you know what? There's a different one I'm thinking of. When Lineker tries to go, it takes the ball past, it's at the Anfield Road, but I think it's in the 2-0 game where we won, where Ratcliffe and...
Oh, yeah.
Who scored the other goal?
Was it Lineker, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Lineker at the Anfield Road in the first half, I think Grobbelaar comes out, it either goes through his grasp or through his legs, and Lineker's about to like put it in the net, and Lawrenson just like sort of grabs Lineker out the way.
There's another one as
Do you
well. Wayne Clark scores a header at Anfield.
Oh. What
I
year is
think
this?
I think we drew
Late
one all.
80s.
Yeah, it was
Those
late
are
80s.
the roll at Anfield.
We drew,
Yeah, exactly.
all of them against Liverpool. We drew 1-1, and I think we would have won. We got a penalty late on. I think that was. Oh, I can't remember now. But anyway, we got a goal disallowed. Wayne Clark header. I think he did it for pushing Steve Nicol in the back, and it was just it was a great header.
Yeah.
And we got that disallowed.
Here's another one for you. Do you remember when we were 3-1 down in the last minute, we Man U were home and we drew 3-3?
Yeah.
And then Jagielka was
He's
about to
going
put the
through.
ball in the net, and the Norbert referee bloody blew up.
Yeah.
By the way, and this is personal one, this, right? Day I started at Everton, 2009, 17th of September, we beat AEK Athens at home in the Europa League 4-0, right?
Yeah.
Guess who I got to interview before the match?
David Moyes.
No.
Here's the David Moyes memoir, so you could have said David
You
Moyes.
could have said David
Graham
Moyes.
Pole,
Graham Pole.
right? Don Hutchison
Graham.
in the derby.
Yeah.
Was it Westerveld?
Yeah.
Tries to take he tries to take the free kick early. 97, I'm guessing here, 96,
It was
97,
around then, wasn't it? Yeah.
something like that. And he blows the full-time whistle.
Hits Hutchison in the back, looping in. It's actually
No, it goes in.
It's dropping in as he blows the whistle.
Yeah.
Doesn't it? Because you see it.
And I interviewed
Yeah.
Graham Pole in like they call it like the what's it called? It's like a little room off the tunnel, basically.
Referees.
It's not called the no, because he wasn't refereeing, was he? He was a guest at the game, so he could. It's just for audio description. Yeah, and I actually asked him about that, and he apologised for it. Now I don't know whether it went out or not. I can't remember.
All right.
But that was like, you know, because it was my first day on the job.
Yeah.
And it was like I'd been working from 12 o'clock that day, and the kick-off was like 8 o'clock. But it was, yeah.
So the big boy thought to go to
The big-
the big boy thought to go to the referee and say, "Why'd you do that? And why'd you do this?"
No,
and
I
make
was
you
asked to-
apologise now and do this.
No,
and
I
do
was
that.
asked to interview him. So someone came in with me, obviously, you know, cameraman, and just said, "Will you know, just have a 5-minute, like, I think of 90 seconds." And I was thinking, hang on, I remember you for something other than the 3 yellow cards.
Oh
I'm
God,
thinking
yeah.
it was that summer
Yeah, it would have been.
that he did that, because it was South Africa.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my
2010,
God. Yeah,
that
it
was
was.
2010 World Cup. Yeah.
On the day before the World Cup, actually, I left Everton, to be fair. But I was there longer than Lucas Neal, because he joined the same day that I did.
So I would just to go back to the Alan Robinson one, the 84 World Cup final.
So-
Basically, I think it was Agent Heath was through. Was it that was an Inchy or Sharp? Sharp. Basically slotting into an empty net. Alan Hansen jumps. This is for the cameras, and sticks his arm out like that to his side, hits his arm, clears it, referee plays on. Absolute stonewall penalty.
Fair when old enough. It was like Stefan Honcho's 2 handballs when he was playing
Stefan
basketball
Honcho. Oh.
against Arsenal in the Michael Owen final,
FA Cup final.
2001.
Arsenal
What a
battered
rubbish
them that
player
day,
he
didn't
is,
they?
man.
Yeah, and
They
they
were trying
would
to
have
walk
had-
it in all day, weren't they? And
They still try and walk it in now.
I know. But yeah, I think out of that. What's yours, mate? Sorry about it.
Oh,
What's your referee in this? That you'd want overturn?
All of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, but mainly going back to that Brighton one, because it's that's just one of the worst refereeing performances I've seen all
But that-
season.
It's more VAR, isn't it? And I think
The Tottenham one at home was take some beating by Atkinson.
Oh
Which
God, yeah.
Tottenham-
Tottenham at home. Dele
I
Alli.
lost my voice
Oh.
that day.
but again, that was VAR, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That I think that's what the problem is, though, isn't it? Is that
Well, going away from Everton refereeing decisions, let's talk about last night, because we had a big argument about this morning. We had like not a massive argument, but we were talking about it this morning for about 20
so
minutes.
we're talking about Wolves,
Leicester.
Yeah.
Leicester, right? And I watched most of the first half, but didn't see anything of the second half.
I turned it off.
I
I
watched,
watched
the
it,
game, so.
but my stream went off, so I only seen the ball going in the back of the net. and I've only seen what actually happened this morning.
I'm not going to repeat what my NBC commentator said when that went in. We're not going to.
What does he swear?
I'm not going to repeat it.
But you don't have to now you said that.
You're going to have to know. You can't just blow yourself up. Man.
Something about Willie cracking through or something like
Oh!
that. This American fella it's just. Yeah.
Do you know what though? I tweeted this morning, I don't know how many people have seen it, right? But I cut and paste from the FA, from the rules, right?
Yeah.
And it says you cannot be offside from these set pieces: goal kick, throw in, corner kick. Now, when people are saying that it was the corner kick taker who was given offside,
It was.
Well, that's
it
what
was,
I'm saying.
Matt
Dean
Doherty.
didn't. No, if Matt Doherty
yeah.
is offside, he cannot be because the ball's been played back. It's impossible. What's the difference between someone going down the right hand side in that channel, pulling the ball back, basically to keep? If you say you broke the offside trap and there's 3 players storming forward from a corner, and your man just gallops right ahead to get in front of the men to play it back. That's the whole point.
It doesn't matter how many defenders are back or not.
That ball, right? And yeah, fair enough that Leicester didn't have any men on the post, and I was looking across the line going straight away, well, that's offside, not knowing what had happened. And then the video looped round because it was on, I don't know if it was on like a TikTok video or whatever it was. I think it was on Twitter. But my point was there. I haven't seen when the liner puts his flag up, or does he? Don't think he does. I think
It doesn't.
VAR.
No, it doesn't,
yeah.
I've checked every single goal, but that's the problem with it. If they don't even know their own rules, and Peter Walton apparently saying in the studio, VAR is here to stay.
Peter Walton, who never disagrees with a refereeing decision ever. He's there to scrutinise referees and goes, yeah, he was right, you know. I said, you're going to say that because you were as bad as him.
Yeah, that's basically it.
It's basically like Trump being impeached by the Democrats, and then the Republicans going, we've got the final decision, so I don't care if he's killed 5 million people, like
he's going
the
to be
new
not
Pol
guilty.
Pot.
We've basically got all the old
Asking
shit
George Bush
referees.
if he's doing a good job or not. He's going to say he's doing a good job, isn't he?
It's all the old shit referees we had to put up with years ago, who are now sort of scrutinising the new shit referees.
Just
Lee
like-
Mason runs through it all.
Yeah,
Just like the
he's a
shit
common theme, like
pundits,
through it all.
like Robbie Savage, who have now, obviously, they're not talented enough to be a coach. They're cowards, and all these pundits, and I'm happy to be saying this on screen so you can see who I am, right? Because you are cowards, because you're not being a coach, and it's easy for you, just like the TalkSport generation, of creating a devil's advocate and saying, I say this, the other person says that, we're generating phone calls, and let's call the people who are calling up idiots, and that's how we make our money.
Or TalkSport, who changed their mind every 2 minutes. At the start of the season, they called Sheffield United basic.
Yeah.
Now they're genius. So they don't even know themselves what they're going
They're
on about.
just generating-
Darren Goff getting the bin.
It's
Why is he even the football?
Darren Goff.
Him and Sam Quirk should get married and go to the Maldives and not come back.
I think
Adrian Durham as well.
Darren Goff reading from an auto cue was one of the most excruciating things you will ever hear. It's horrific.
It's every day.
It's awful. Yeah.
Comes to something when they get Allardyce onto school, a lot of them.
I know, yeah. Jesus. You've got some questionable views on everything, that fella. I'm gonna go on.
No, I was going to say, we were talking about going back to the refereeing decisions.
Only best.
Yeah. There's only one good refereeing performance I've seen in the past 2 years, and it's a referee we like pretty much. Can you guess who it is?
Chris Kavanagh in the derby.
Yep, at Anfield when. But we don't talk about the score.
No.
But yeah.
Was it 11-0 or something? I don't
Something
even
like
know.
that.
Yeah, I can't even
That's
remember.
why I don't know when
Hey,
it's Chris
you know
Cavanagh's name.
Yeah, but Chris Kavanagh was the ref last week and he was
Another one.
awful.
He weren't actually.
Another
It turned
one
out
we've
it wasn't it.
Another one we've got, Mark Clattenburg.
Oh,
The
Les Scott and
Clattenburg
Carragher, yeah, in the
derby.
2-all derby at the
Oh yeah, I
Gladys
remember
Street.
that.
So that was it wasn't just that decision, it was sending off Tony Hibbert and it was their kite challenge on Phil Neville,
Yeah,
all in
about
the same
this
game.
high.
What about the Jack Rodwell sending off?
Yeah, who's the ref for that?
That was
Atkinson.
Martin Atkinson.
I'll never forget that.
Oh, wow,
They're all
yeah.
shite on. Do you know what though? I'm gonna
As
call
far as a
time
stream-
on this question, right?
And swiftly move
And I
on.
think the one for me will be the 84 Milk Cup final.
The Milk Cup.
Because we've never
Going
won
into
that.
room 101.
We've never won that cup.
Yeah.
We've never beaten them at Wembley, and that would have happened on that decision,
Yeah.
basically.
It
And
would
Alan
have been
Hansen would have got
It would
sent
have
off.
been Evan though to win
To
that
miss
cup,
the
and it's
pen.
called the Milk Cup.
Yeah.
No, it would have been Everton to actually get that penalty and
Would
then
you
miss
win
it.
the Milk Cup?
And just to annoy you, do you know who scored the only goal in the replay at Main Road?
Go on.
Graham Souness from
was
a
a penalty
penalty.
goal,
I
wasn't it?
thought it was a pen.
Wasn't it the screen we
Parkes' fault.
scored?
Oh, I can't
Paul
remember then.
Parker's fault.
That Graham
Paul
Souness
Pogba's
goal
fault. Yeah.
in the Milk Cup, was it a screamer?
It was, yeah.
Yeah.
What am I thinking of then? The penalty?
Don't know. Yeah, thought so. Hard and low. Always hard and low. EFC Matthew Barry's asked, why does Charlie Nicholas hate Everton and is he a bad bellend? So that was last week he asked this. This week he asked, can I resubmit, why does Charlie Nicholas hate Everton and is he a bad
It's got
bellend?
even worse in this past week, you know.
Why?
But again, they're all doing this just to get a rise out of it. We need to just block Sky
Charlie
and
Nicholas
block.
is doing it to get Moisey in the job. Now he's in the job, he's still carrying on, so I don't quite get what he's
Yeah, because he's doing shit in the job.
Is it because I reckon it is? I reckon he's been told Moyes is going to get the Everton job,
Yeah.
right? And he's put about $8,000 on it, whatever the maximum is.
To buy himself a new earring.
Yeah, £6,971.86 in his account. That's the maximum you can have on it, right? I've been told this is a shot thing. And then hopefully he'll blind himself when the reflection, just like in a mirror.
just
But did anyone see his actual reaction when we scored the winner at Watford?
Oh.
He says his goal, and then he says it goes to Everton, and then you just see his face go.
Well, that's it, because you've got to shout on Sky Sports News, you've got to shout, haven't you? As if it's like the best thing ever. So he shouts that and then his face is tripping him when the camera comes back to him. Yeah.
Was it Charlie Nicholas? Well, it was him, Jack Carlisle, who put the tweet about Charlie Nicholas looking about like the man who follows hen parties round Matthew Street. That was excellent.
That's amazing.
That nails him, that, doesn't it? Has
With the
anyone-
earring.
Yeah. Every bar they pile into, he'll just be stood there like this, surveying.
Just follow.
Not even a safe distance away, just right behind them.
Where should we
Give
go,
you the
lads?
conga round Matthew.
You say that Robert Saul.
David Moyes wouldn't have us here.
Yeah.
So it does, right, he clearly hates Everton, doesn't he?
But he's hated us since the start of the season,
Yeah,
so,
but-
because I thought it was Silva. I thought he was one of them, this
Yeah,
Marco
just 18
Silva
now.
fella getting a job. And then he went to Everton look a bit limited under Duncan Ferguson. He then Ancelotti
Tell him
got
that to
the...
his
He'll
face.
never have
Yeah.
anything good to say about
He
them.
won't be following anyone around.
I've got a theory as to why it is, you know. It's Phil Thompson. Because if he comes out, people will just think he is being like
Biased.
purposely
Yeah.
saying it again. And he's because
So is it just
Letitia won't do it
Is-
because
is it
he's
like-
completely against Liverpool fans all
Yeah,
the
he is.
time.
Yeah, but Letitia
But
is one of
Mason
them.
as
Why
well.
would Ronald Koeman go to Everton? Southampton are a bigger club.
That's what
So
Charlie
do you think
Nicholas
that-
says.
No,
Oh.
John Letitia.
Yeah, Martin said that. But do
I
you
Yeah,
think-
but he's
Twitter
a
about him.
former Southampton
do you
player.
think with Charlie
He
Nicholas
does
then,
that.
it's like osmosis, having sat next to Big Nose for all that time, it just sort of
probably.
seeps into him.
It's
And
a
But Charlie Nicholas is
prick
actually
by
a-
proxy.
Because remember when
That could be the new title for this podcast.
Mason's saying the fact that Everton had ruined the transfer window by signing Richarlison.
Doubt it.
Where is he now? And how many goals he scored and who
He's
he's
still
playing
at
under?
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
You know what though? Paul Mason isn't as bad as Charlie Nicholas for them weekly predictions. He wasn't as bad.
Have you
as
seen his
Charlie.
predictions for this week? 4-1 Liverpool and
Yeah, that's probably
Villa
it.
being
No, he's got top
Has he-
Spurs.
no, but is he
Villa.
as bad as Lotto though? We predicted Liverpool to never ever lose a
Oh,
game.
they haven't
They
lost
haven't
the
lost
game
the
since he
game
left.
since 2007. Yeah.
That's not true. He hasn't predicted Liverpool to lose a game in 2 years or something.
It's April 2017.
It's coming up to that.
Liverpool apparently
Oh, yeah.
have won 3 league titles.
I'm sure he predicted Everton to win a derby in that
Yeah.
time. That shows how
I reckon
thick he is.
Charlie Nicholas hates Everton that much, he's actually predicted us to get beat this weekend.
But that's what I was going to say. But he's just scrawled in the shape.
Everton are playing, but he'll still get beat.
It's like drawing a cock and ball.
Yeah, Kenny Powers. Yeah. / Superbad.
I want to talk a little bit about the Man City one. We didn't get that many questions in, considering it was up for 2 weeks. We didn't get that many questions in. We're popular fellas, clearly. So the Man City ban.
I've got a question. Why do Aston Villa fans hate me so much?
I think you can explain
I
that.
think you know exactly why. This is what he looks like, by the way. There's only Villa fans watching. When did I say this? This isn't Owen, by the way. This is his brother.
No, this is Owen, and I hate Aston Villa
Snowing.
going down.
How unimaginative do you think his parents are? Owen and snowing. Was he born in the winter?
Yeah, well,
Fucking
well,
snow. Not you, snowing.
The Man City ban,
Are
right?
you from Hale? Oh.
Aston Villa, for the record, Aston Villa are a great traditional football club, and I have no issue with them.
But all their fans have got.
Fans
No, I'm only joking.
I was going to say these are not the views of the Blue Room, but they probably are.
Well,
We hate everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They hate Everton more than anyone, don't they?
Yeah.
So.
We don't hate everyone.
With Everton.
We just hate
Yeah,
Charlie.
yeah. We probably hate Everton more than Aston
We
Villa.
just hate everything Charlie Nicholas likes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we are the antonym. Look Charlie Nicholas under Urban Dictionary, and you'll find the Blue Room as the antonym.
Or just a picture of a cotton ball. The Man City ban, right? Do you reckon it'll get upheld?
No.
Yes.
And then
No.
FFP
Yes.
will become redundant.
No.
I think there's two ways this is going to go, right? Because City, there's no way, right? It's either arrogance, I think, or it can't be mismanagement. There's no way
Can I
you
just-
get that rich though,
Yeah.
and not be able to think, hang on, we might be in a bit of bother here because we broke some rules. So it's definitely arrogance.
Can I
think.
just butt
Yeah.
in? I was on the way up here to my dad's. Me and my stepdad were working out what time period it was. It's from 2014 to 18, so it's over the 2 years that they won the. So they won the first time they won the Premier League under
Yeah.
Guardiola, and then they won another league title during that period.
Well, then it's Juventus all over again, then, isn't it?
Yeah.
But it won't happen because you're not telling me that City haven't got great lawyers and weren't expecting this. No, just
No,
anything
I'm
else.
saying, I
And
seen a
I'm just-
post before. No, I'm saying. To the court case, I'm saying Man City have sent 8 lawyers, and UEFA have only sent 2.
Yeah, but they won't need to send anymore. It doesn't matter how many
No,
lawyers
just
you've
saying.
got.
You were saying about the lawyers.
There are
was
levels
great
of right
lawyers.
and wrong. Yes, exactly. But my point being,
But they're sending 6 more lawyers than UEFA. That's what I'm trying to say.
So hang on.
yeah, so
wait
that's
there.
my point.
So hang on a minute.
Because
They've
they
got-
have to win the
Yeah,
case, though.
us four
Yeah.
could say we're lawyers, we could turn and we would make a blind to it.
Exactly.
Like Lionel
Like
Hodge.
Stanley Ipkiss.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Liar.
Yeah. No, but I think. I think the way it will go. Stanley Ipkiss is the mask. I don't know why I said that. I can't remember his name in that.
Same
But
fella.
it's either going to be, it's either going to be that they'll get suspended,
Yeah.
and if they don't do it again, which is what I think City were planning on, thinking we'll overspend, we don't care, right?
Get a small ban and not do anything about it.
Yeah, we'll take, like, they got a £49 million ban last time, didn't they? But
Yeah.
they didn't have any. Hang on, wasn't there talk of European ban last time and nothing
They
happened?
just paid the fine, didn't they?
Yeah.
So maybe that's why they've done it this time.
I mean,
Instead
the
of
thing is,
first time one.
the thing it shows is the FFP is just a crock of shit, isn't it?
Yeah.
To keep the established elite in their position, basically.
It is,
The
but
big
if you
shit,
actually
yeah.
do get banned, you say, well, fair enough.
It sets a precedent.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, Martin Samuel amazingly did a really good piece on this. No, I don't think I've ever agreed with Martin Samuel over anything, but he does a really good piece on this because he says it's about keeping the establishment established. Man United, Liverpool, Arsenal in this country, those clubs. And he says if you
Chelsea.
look at, yeah, well, not so much Chelsea, I think. They're not like traditionally.
Oh no, they're not.
But,
They're not media darlings
yeah.
like them.
So
are they?
he said basically, if you look at the business models of Man United and Man City, Man United are mortgaged and in debt. Like
Yeah, up to the hills,
tune
yeah.
of about 800 million.
Yeah.
City have got no debt.
Yeah.
So you can't look, well, why is it okay for them to spend this money? Like sort of hedge fund leverages or whatever, and Man City can't. When it's all their own money, if someone wants to lash all this money into a club, good luck to you.
But this
So it shows a massive flaw in why it was created, and it was just created
yeah, but
to
then
pull up
there's
the drawbridge.
certain rules though. Is you've got to learn by certain standards and certain rules. You can only spend.
Yeah, but
because
the thing
they're in the
is-
European competition though.
thing
That's
is
why
though-
we haven't been called up for
The
it.
thing is though, you've got these clubs, you've got Man United, you've got Liverpool, who've been doing this for years. They've been
Yeah.
outspending everyone. No matter what the Reds say, they've been outspending anyone for years.
And
They just
still haven't won
have.
the league
So
title.
they're always on. They've always had a higher base level than anyone else. So you've got to spend up to that level before you can even start competing with them. So these clubs, once FFP comes in, they're already at a level. Now Man City did it just before the rug got pulled from everyone.
Yeah.
That's,
You know,
yeah, but
and we
that's
could,
it.
and you know,
That's what I'm
we
saying.
could find ourselves falling victim of this very soon.
Yeah,
That's
because
what
we are nowhere near the established elite because we
And
won
also-
all our trophies years ago.
And we're in big trouble with FFP.
No, but that's what
by
I'm saying,
This
yeah.
time next year, we could
That's
be.
why I hate when people say buy in for 50 million in January. Yeah, because we're 8th and where we going.
Yeah.
Why spend 50 million?
But this
in
is why
January?
we need to concentrate on results, and I know you should outside, regardless of transfer windows anyway. But this is why you should be concentrating on beating all those teams who are around you. We've got a great chance
Oh God, yeah.
to finish in a position like 10 or 12 places higher than people thought we would.
Definitely.
But going back to that, there are levels of wrong. So Chelsea get done for whatever their misdemeanors were, and they paid the price. And then they should have been banned in January, but that got taken away. So City can always cite these things,
Yeah.
and that's what happens in cases. They will cite, I don't know, Dargan versus the state 2014, and this
This is
decision
an
was
actual
given.
case, by the way.
Yeah.
We're off
Yeah.
four turns up.
That's how I lost my hair. They took my hair away because they didn't think I was,
We're
legislative.
four of the 6
I
lawyers.
didn't kill her.
Yeah, no, yeah. He says, standing over, like Blackadder, isn't it? His lawyer, Prince George's lawyer, was so good when the murderer was standing over the body saying, "I'm glad I killed the bastard," and the victim's parents had to write him a letter of apology and wash the blood out of his clothes. But yeah, that's basically what happens to the elite. But levels are wrong, and again, as you say, it feels like we're just going on about Liverpool, but tapping up. Virgil van Dijk,
Yeah.
Southampton, tapping up, right? Oh, you shouldn't be doing that. Southampton are like, hang on, they've signed like everyone bar the tea lady at our club within the last 2 or 3
He
years,
left
right?
Randall Koeman.
Tap, 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 tap.
Oh, yeah.
No, you're not allowed to do that. Okay, we won't. Next transfer window, where does he go?
Well,
There are levels of wrong, and that's why the top will always want to be at the top.
And
Like
actually got away
Munich
with
did
it as
in
well.
Germany.
Yeah.
We
Well,
then
they
turned
actually
up
had
after them what's left lads Cooker Martini.
Yeah, exactly.
They had them in a Liverpool shirt before January.
Yeah.
Christmas Day, they had them in Liverpool shirt.
Yeah. Mad.
They did this season well with that Minamino.
Yeah.
He
Well,
turned up in November or something.
I think Nick at yours 1980 puts it quite succinctly about this whole Man City ban and the possible implications. He goes, I see what's happened here.
that's spot on.
City ban sees Champions League go to 5th. Everton finish 5th. Everton get investigated for the Megaphone investment. Everton get banned. City appeal, win, and are reinstated.
I spoke to him regarding that
Yeah.
this morning, didn't I? Yeah.
This is what I've got here. Everton appeal, lose, and all involved with the club receive life bans from any football involvement.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. But I was saying,
Will be an Everton thing to happen, to be fair.
Oh,
again
sure.
though,
Yeah.
I'm going to keep raising this all the time, and I know that and the elite don't want it, and I'll be honest, they can have their Super League. I think I've mentioned this before. I'm not interested, they can have it. I don't mind playing teams who aren't. I don't mind
They
playing.
even might stay up.
Well, yeah. But with regards to I've completely forgotten me. Oh yeah, is the budget ceiling that you have, a wage budget ceiling that you have in America? And
Yeah.
I'd love that to be it. You can spend. There's no transfer fee whatsoever, right?
Wage
So
cap, like in the
yeah,
NFL.
just a wage cap. Yeah. And basketball,
Yeah, they
and
do them
baseball,
both, don't they?
and yeah, but that all
And it
three
works.
sports.
And their structures work.
It works because, right, yes, the people are saying that there's no, you've got to be sort of, there's got to be remuneration for, a player leaving, but most of the time it'll be at the end of a contract, or you'll do swaps. If you can swap players instead of saying he's worth 90 million, no he isn't. United would never have paid 80 million for Maguire. City
No one
would
would.
never have paid 47.5 million for John Stones.
Harry Maguire.
Liverpool would never have paid 75 million for Van Dijk. None of these things would ever happen.
Yeah.
And also, look at the state of the world where 1% have got 99% of the wealth, and all this stuff is still going on. And, just like sort of,
Hey, 99% of that Jack Grealish money in the summer.
all
100 million.
Liam Bridgewell's wiping his arse with it though, so don't worry about it.
The thing is as well, if you look at that sort of model, swapsies is the most rudimentary thing in football.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe
Got.
stickers need. Yeah. No one's saying they need Harry Maguire, but anyway.
No.
No one needs Harry Maguire.
David Slade At Slate DJ, David, are you actually a DJ? Let us know. What's your best low-key celebrity encounter? For example, he once bumped into Ugo Ekiog in Asda, and only last week met James Dean Bradfield in Tesco.
Well,
I mean,
you could say that's a design for life.
Anyone got any low-key celebrity?
I better start this.
Go ahead, mate.
11-year-old me's back.
Oh, he's out the cupboard.
He's out the cupboard.
I mean, he's not gay.
No,
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Wow.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Right.
Blew yourself there.
What?
No, not like
11-year-old me is not in the cupboard. It's in
bias.
Sports Direct.
Okay.
It's in Sports Direct, and I'm walking around with my dad. And in the distance, I know a very fuming Jamie Carragher.
Okay.
So he's in the and I say, oh, Dad, there's Jamie Carragher. And he's right by, so there's the clothes. And it's Jamie Carragher. And he went, do you mind not following me, Carragher? Because he was fuming because he must have been there against his will or something.
Because he didn't have a size 8 in Lonsdale.
I walked away, and my dad just walks away with his head back, arm behind him, and I whisper, go back to go.
You're lucky you never spat in your face.
See, I'm hoping
He's
to
probably a
interview
dragon.
Carragher. This isn't going to happen now, is it?
Oh, well, do you know what? I don't think he watches or subscribes, so I think we might get away with that.
Nor does he remember this incident, probably.
Well, can I go to my point then? Because it also is with Carragher. We played in the Bootle Stadium a couple of years ago.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I was sitting in the changing rooms. I jumped in the shower, come back, and I've sat down, and I'm on my phone, and I look up. Jamie Carragher, no t-shirt, jeans and his belt like that. And I walk out to my dad. I walk out to my dad and go, I've just seen
Dad! And
I walked out to
I can hear Carragher go shouting, Shabby! Go on.
Get the doll.
Go on, sorry.
I definitely hope he doesn't watch this anyway.
Oh no, definitely not. You boomed it, oh.
Why am I doing it?
Carragher's
Can I
sitting
carry on?
somewhere. Belt.
So
You wanna carry
basically,
it on?
Tom had played football with, like, he's been playing with, like, sort of open age players for ages.
Probably
hasn't he?
scored about a hat-trick or something, I can't remember that.
No,
1,000,000 goals.
it probably.
Still a goal less than
You've been
Danny.
playing for ages and you've probably scored a hat trick. Wow, it sounds like me on FIFA. Yeah, and he said he was sitting in the changing rooms, yeah, and then this is what Tom said to me. I'll try and do it in Carragher's voice.
No, don't do it in Carragher's voice.
Like, just type it as you can.
Alright lad, I've seen you playing there. Scored some good goals there.
Yeah.
And Stevie was on the phone saying you want to play for Rangers. He never said that as well.
Not bad, that, though.
He's getting sacked for Alan Pardew.
Yeah.
Oh, Pards.
Pards of
Strange
Rangers.
encounters for...
Any celebrity encounters?
That's the Crystal Palace. I don't know if you called that, but...
Was that the final?
Yes.
That we should have been in?
Oh, well, we had 47 shots and still got
Lukaku missed a pen?
Yeah. It was a good save, but
No,
he
it's
missed
an
the pen.
awful pen.
He missed the pen. Soft get.
Always comes back to Everton, doesn't
It
it?
always does. You got any celebrity encounters? Low key or otherwise? Well, not the ones you've set up to interview.
Well,
I mean, I know you're friends of the stars and all that, but, you know, just... You passed in the streets,
Just
you know.
low-key counts as Petr Cech and John Terry in the tunnel.
that's
That's pretty low key, to be honest.
no, they're like 6'5" each or something. No, I haven't got any low-key ones because I interview Hollywood celebrities for a living, for God's sake. I don't mean like that. They would say that I'm low-key. You could say that they...
Remember when we were at the match and Neville walked past us?
Oh, yeah. Neville was...
Which Neville?
Gary. That was going up to the
This was
gantry.
Sky.
Right, and like where we sit in the Bullens, he'd come across, so he obviously had walked around the pitch, come across to go back, and there's like a door behind
I've got no funny
the
story about
turnstile where we sit.
Carragher and Neville in it.
And he was going to say, and I was going, Gary, and I was only going to say, alright, he probably thought I was going to say something bad, and I wasn't, and he just blanked me.
There's another
I
good
saw
story
Phil
about
Neville
that.
in the Euston train station.
There's another good story.
Phil Neville in Euston train station.
Was your
So-
point?
He was walking around with cameras on his back and everything.
I only see loads of people.
It's the night we played City at home last season.
Oh, right.
I'd been that rough.
I was standing behind Firmino in the train queue at Lime Street, and he had like the horriblest,
word.
heelless.
No word.
No. I love the way my son. is correcting me for spelling and grammar.
Not a word.
Audible spelling and grammar. Yeah,
Just get on with
the
it.
most horrible shoes I'll ever. They were Gucci
Yeah.
because I've googled them. I was even talking to my brother about them. I'm pointing this way because he owns his bar, but he's not.
Just making sure.
So anyway, yeah, he had the weirdest and horriblest shoes on. I don't care. If
It's very on brand.
He's done it again.
It's very on brand for Firmino, isn't it?
Oh,
Very on brand.
he had
Anything-
fair and everything at the back. And Jimmy Carr, before he was famous, Lime Street, and he was standing there like a choir boy like that, and I was like, Jimmy Carr, and he was like,
fingers there.
yeah. Because that's what he was doing. They can't.
They're
I'm
twiddling
doing
with
this.
his,
What's going
twiddling with his thumbs like that.
Stinking.
Yeah, but twiddling with his thumbs round there is not good.
Anyway,
Especially twiddling with someone else's thumbs round there, isn't it?
my ones are, I saw John Collins in Safeway in West Kirby. John Collins when he just after he signed for Everton, he was dressed all in black,
Do you know
doing the weekly shop.
what was it? Johnny Cash Collins?
Yeah, he was, yeah. And Steve McManaman actually came into mine in my dad's tea shop.
Yes, Fletch.
The scrambled egg on toast.
Sure,
He's not
Fletch.
paying attention.
Well,
Have you know?
Steve
on
McManaman.
co-commentary with Darren Fletch.
Oh, of course.
Yes, Fletch.
yeah.
No
Oh,
Fletch.
The
yeah,
worst,
awful.
the most put on Scouse accent I've ever heard in my life as well. So my granddad
No,
always says,
he tries to speak more eloquently. Isn't that right, Fletch? I think they've been
There's
passing
nothing
the
worse.
ball well. You don't speak
Yeah,
like that.
there's-
Stop doing it.
that's what granddad do, that's what, well,
Yeah.
my granddad, his dad, just always rips into him saying that he's not a real Scouser because he's trying to put on an accent.
There's nothing worse than a Scouse putting on a posh voice.
No,
A Scouse phone voice. It's the worst thing ever, isn't it?
Bellew starting to do it now. I'm not going to get him with this, you know. I don't like. What
Sure,
does
ruining your chances.
11-year-old Owen think about this?
Well,
In general,
Yeah,
about
Scouse is doing
about-
received pronunciation.
Scousers
he hates
do-
everything. He still hates everything now.
It's good to see.
put him back in the clothes.
Right, lads, that's it for this week.
Good Phil.
That's it. That's Mailbag done.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
I had something else to bring up.
So, anyone, any thoughts on the quote from the start?
Go on.
Well, I knew the
Say
answer
it again.
anyway.
Football was never the same for me after I left Everton, and although I always wanted to win, losing never really seemed to hurt anymore.
Not Jamie Carragher.
Hey. I'm going to guess at
Andy Graham going.
Kevin Ratcliffe.
1-0 to Dargan.
Wait,
And there is no comeback.
well,
It was
technically,
Kevin.
I
Andy
knew
Gray was a good shout though.
Yeah, but he left to go somewhere else.
He went to Aston Villa.
Well,
Funnily enough.
the Villa.
And we brought the podcast full circle. Thanks to everyone for listening on Patreon. Thanks to everyone for watching on YouTube. We'll do this again if you want us to, because it's alright, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's not a bad setup. Keep
Sure,
your eyes
it's not
on
bad,
next
sure.
week for mine and Matt's preview of the Arsenal game. We'll probably do something on Monday, basically
Just a
Everton
guess.
related. And you've got all the usual stuff coming up on the podcast in the week. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. See you next time.
Folk Quimby.
Up the toppy.